Hello everybody, welcome back to my movie review series. Today we'll be discussing the movie Father Stu. So as you can see, I go to a lot of movies. Today at the box office we had not a lot of options. And this typical thing, plot synopsis, along with character development, overall grade and major themes. But wow, this one sucked, fat dicks. If you've seen if you've ever heard like the 5 redundant talking points from the Catholic or Christian groups, then you'd already know all of the character development. But so basically we have what was the box office today? What was the other movies that I could have chose from? There was Fantastic Beasts, it's Harry Potter, I've never read the books, no interest. Sonic the Hedgehog, no interest. Already seen Ambulance, Morbius, no interest. Seen Lost City. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once looked also equally as fucking terrible. Anything with the metaverse, it's an instant no. Not gonna see Batman and Uncharted. So I went with Father Stu, hoping to be something to it. I mean, it was real. I mean, it was based on a true story, but I was hoping, I don't know, maybe something else would come out of it, and it just didn't. So, okay, I'll give my overall grade at the end, but it's not going to be a good one. Didn't leave the theater, though. So, plot synopsis. Movie starts off. You have Stuart Long, Bill Long, Mrs. Long. Again, they don't use her name, and it's not listed on Google, which is, again, awesome. Played by Jackie Weaver. They also don't have Carmen's. Carmen is Stuart Long's girlfriend in the movie, and she's not even listed with a name on here. So that's good. Ham is not even on here, so again, can Google, does anything work? Of course not. I got harassed in the past 24 hours, I'll talk about that on my language series. Again, I have not gone 2 weeks in 10 years without getting actively harassed while not having human rights, all because of criminal activity. So I watched some shit movie today. So the plot synopsis is Stuart Long is singing Elvis around his dad, Bill Long, as a young child, and just like, you're never going to be like Elvis Presley. And so then you fast forward, Stuart Long is now an adult, he's a boxer, in good shape, played by Mark Wahlberg, and he's in his boxing career. And so he's going to be this big breakout boxer, even though he's like middle-aged or even older for the boxing age group. And after one of his fights, he goes to the doctor. So he goes to the doctor, and the doctor says he's got a severe disease in his jaw and like very, very high elevation of like anti-inflammatory ligands in his bloodstream. He's got bad blood, bad jaw, and so the doctor says he's got to stop. Or he says he should stop. So Stuart decides to do that, and he has a pretty cordial, fun relationship with his mother. So she's like, what are you gonna do? You should care about your life more than boxing. They had another child, another son. Stuart had a brother who died, I guess, when he was like 6, so very young, and you don't really hear much about him at all. But I think he just didn't wake up. He just had some childhood disease, went to bed one night, didn't wake up. So they already lost a son. That's kind of referenced throughout the movie. As an adult, Stuart has a very pretty playful but like moderately disrespectful relationship with his father, Bill. Just a couple of funny scenes with Bill calling some drivers retards, and the kid next to him in the car is not too happy. Bill is a construction worker who lives in a trailer. Mrs. Long, I don't know what she does, if anything. I think she's got a remarried husband. I don't think she works. But the first thing Stuart Long is going to do is he's going to go to Hollywood and become a famous actor. So he goes to Hollywood. I think he gets a job at the supermarket, and he's the deli guy. And so he's looking for his big break. He goes to an audition. Some dude says, how bad do you want it? Jiggles his belt, basically if you wanted the job, you gotta suck my dick. And then Stuart Long puts him up against the wall and is just like, fuck this place. So he leaves there, and he's staying at a motel. He calls his mom with a big breakthrough, and he's like a product promoter for like a month. So the big breakthrough wasn't the Hollywood starring role. And so Mrs. Long didn't look too excited in that scene. So he's doing that, and at the same time he's at the deli mart. He meets Carmen, just this pretty Mexican lady, and he's trying to clap some cheeks. So he's trying to hunt her down, and one of the other people, like the the deli manager or the grocery store manager, his boss, is like, if you're looking for, or maybe somebody else, if you're looking for her, she'll probably be at this. He gives him a flyer for like a Catholic mass. And so Stuart Long, he's gonna go. He goes to church just to find Carmen, and she's a Mexican Catholic. Her parents don't want her to date somebody that isn't baptized. So Stuart, at this point again, just trying to find himself. He's gonna do whatever, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll get baptized. I'll do whatever." And so it gets baptized, becomes a catechumen, and then becomes a Catholic. I'm assuming it's Catholic. And yeah, again, this movie was awful. This movie sucked. But so he becomes baptized as a Catholic, and now Carmen, who is getting very strict on the no sex till marriage. Well, first, again, Stuart drinks quite a bit. Bill drinks a lot, and Stuart's at this bar. He's out there twice. The first time he gets in a scuffle and a fight, just over something. And even besides the actual content of the film, this film actually was hard to hear. Like a lot of the lines, and it's in English. I speak English, and I couldn't literally hear what the fuck they said. So that wasn't just good production value in any fucking way. Literally some of the scenes, the bar fight scene, I don't know what exactly happened. He's talking to a white chick, and some other dude's talking back, and he's basically the line I heard was, if that bull, talking about an actual just taxidermy bull on the wall at the bar, if that bull had a penis and $1, she would probably fuck him. But before that, I didn't even know why they started fighting, just because I couldn't hear the lines. And so another time he goes back to the bar, and again he's dating Carmen, and he has this talk with this barfly guy played by, I'm assuming that's what they mean by barfly, is just this random dude, Nico Terra. And so barfly is basically you're here, you're given a chance, now don't go driving tonight, because there's another scene. Stuart, one of the first nights at the bar, Stuart got a DUI, his car got impounded. He goes to basically steal Bill's car for the day, and pretty funny scene. Again, there's just a lot of one-liner comedy. Some of it's all right. And for this movie, like I said, in a serious movie, I typically don't like it for action and adventure, but this is just based on a true story. So I thought the one-liner comedy was all right in this one. But goes to steal Bill's car at the construction site, and they go back and forth type of deal, and that's why Stuart doesn't have a car. So second time he's at the bar, and he's drinking. He's like, "Don't go home," or "Don't go driving." And somehow it's a motorcycle. We don't understand how he gets the motorcycle, and the truck backs up. He swerves, and then he runs a red light, and then he just tanks off the motorcycle. Violently thrown off the motorcycle and gets run over. So now Stuart is in a coma, and the doctors are like, there's very low chance he's going to wake up, he's going to die. And then Carmen comes in and, puts the Bible under his hand, and Bill Long's like, "What are you going to do? Is there a spell in there?" Or Mrs. Long, one of the Longs, and they're both atheists or just agnostic. And they're like, "What are you going to do? Cast a spell on him?" And then his eyes start moving, so he comes out of the coma, and then there's no sex scene, but Stuart and Carmen do the sex, and again, Carmen was going to wait till marriage, but in the movie, what she say, I forget, but they have sex, so Carmen sacrificed for Stuart her wonderful values of being a strict Catholic, which again, yeah, spotlight, that really shined a light on all of the great Catholic priests out there in the world. And so they bang one out, and again, no sex scene at all. And then after that, Stuart brings Carmen. He recovers a little bit, gets out of the hospital, brings Carmen to where they first met, Carmen thinks he's going to propose, and he's like, nope, I'm going to be a priest now. What better way to get closer to God than to be a priest? And get every character development, at least for Stuart, is again the 5 rattling talking points of any Catholic or religious person you've ever heard. So nothing exciting there. And then Carmen's heartbroken. Bill Long and Mrs. Long, who are divorced, and again Stuart and Mrs. Long have a good relationship. They both kind of rag on Bill, and Bill rags on Stuart back, but like in a playful, like a real way, but a playful way. It's not like real tense or anything. And so they're all just like, what the fuck are you doing? There's another scene where Stuart, before all this, where Stuart meets Carmen's parents, and the dad's like, I guess there's some tradition or something where they like crawl on their knees or something to worship Catholic faith or something, which there was a scene like that in Breaking Bad when like the hitmen with the skull people on their feet were like, they like go through some tunnel and they have to like crawl somewhere. So it's the only other time I've seen some reference to that sounds like that's a thing. And Carmen's dad's like, you better do that for my daughter. And Stuart's like, yep, I'm glad I got carpet. And then laugh, ha, ha, ha. And so back to, Stuart's gonna become a priest. He's got where does he meet Ham? He meets Ham pretty early on, light-skinned black dude, they're friends. And maybe just when Stuart was going to get baptized. And so in the whole movie, Stuart's just like, going along with the Catholic thing to clap cheeks, completely respectable. At that point, I thought the movie was like, oh, maybe this is going to go somewhere more fun. And so now Stuart actually wants to become a priest because weird people find themselves, their identity, by an ontology they don't understand and say God, God, God a lot. And so that's what he does. He's going to become a priest. Again, he has to convince the diocesan chief to let him in to get baptized. He has to convince him to let him apply to the, I don't know, what's theology school called? I forget, there's a word for it, the theology school. And so he gets accepted into theology school. Ham's in there with him. There's another dude in there that's, going to be a priest his whole life. I think it's Cody Fern. Yeah, I'm pretty sure played by Cody Fern. Just another priest, another dude in theology school. And so they're doing that, and then they're playing basketball one day, and Stuart goes down and can't get up. And so he goes to the doctor, and he has some form of like Lou Gehrig's disease, just a degenerative muscular skeleton disease. So he's going to lose all of his function of his muscles slowly, and he's going to die pretty soon. So it's not too super exciting news. And so he comes back, he started using the walking crutches, stuff like that, ends up being in a wheelchair, but basically the diocese or wherever he's at is like, we can't ordain you as a priest because you can't function, like you can't do the sacraments, like hand out the wine at communion and shit like that. And so Stuart's devastated. He throws himself at the feet of the statue of Mary, and Bill comes, picks him up, and takes him back home. So now he's going to live out the rest of his life with his parents, and that's basically it. So towards the actual end, Carmen and the local parish or the diocese at some point agreed to let him become a priest. So he does get ordained, not by the initial place, but back by his hometown, and then he serves the rest of his life as a priest. And so one of the final scenes is the other priest, Cody Fern, confessing to Stuart Long, Father Stu, about how his entire life he's been praying for an out of the Catholic way, because it was his father's idea to be a priest and he wanted nothing to do with it the whole time. And he's wondering why Stuart, who has a complete out, meaning they wouldn't ordain him because of his disease, why he wouldn't take it. And so, again, very, very honest question. I'd rather be clapping some cheeks with Carmen than serving the good word. And so Stuart's just getting that steadfast follower of the Lord. And so he dies at 50, and he serves in his local town until he dies, and a bunch of people sign up at his care center to hear him give lectures or sermons or do confession. So at the very end, Bill Long is at his Alcohol Anonymous meeting, and he decides to get baptized as well, along with Stuart
and confesses that his entire life he basically tried to destroy Stewart's opportunities at every chance. So again, that's pretty much the end of the movie. So I will give it a D-, because I really considered leaving because this was boring as fuck. And so that's what I thought of the movie. That's my grade. Again, character development is any 5 talking points from any Catholic person you've ever heard. Major themes. Again, finding God. We've talked about that extensively in my language series. It's just insecure people finding their identity and self-growth, right? Talking in front of people is people listening to you. It's a sense of community. That's what it is. But pretty correct on how people get into the church is they fuck up their whole lives and then they want to feel something and then they're gonna talk down to other people because of some dude that died 30, 50,000 years ago. So that's good stuff. Any other major themes? Degenerative diseases. I don't have anything to say about that. Yeah, that's really it. Again, I thought this movie sucked fat dicks. So, again, I don't have constitutional rights. There's nothing I can do. There was nowhere I can go, and there's no one I can call. My life is never going to start. So, thank you for watching my review of Father Stu. Please see it at your own caution.